Hey guys, it is November 12th, 2020. We are still in our Unit 3 of multiplication. Today we are going to continue our study of multiplication, but we are adding in word problems that involve multiplication. So your objective today, students will be solving word problems that involve multiplication. Notice that I say the word involve. Some of your problems might be multi-step. So in your notes, make sure that you write and pause the video here for word problems involving multiplication. And here we go. All right, in your journal, I want you to warm up by writing down these multiplication equations and finding the products for each one of the equations. So pause the video here and write them down vertically and solve for each of the problems. Okay, so if you check on the bottom, I did 16 times 29 for a total of 464. And then 145 times 8 is 1,160. And 15 times 15, you should have gotten 225. And 2,045 times 5, you should have gotten 10,225. So pause the video here and make sure that you went through all of your steps. All of these equations are the different types of multiplication that we've been learning the last 2.5 weeks. So here we are going to move forward with our word problems. So with word problems, I like to do cubes, which is circling your key numbers and units. You underline the questions, box any action words, evaluate and eliminate if you have to, and make sure that you show your work and check, which is super important when it comes to multi-step problems, is making sure you know what steps that you're supposed to do. Okay, here is a word problem that I want you to just take a moment and listen and follow along as I go. So it says, I do. Mr. Bloggs wants to buy 24 silver tickets for his students to go to the ballet. If Mr. Bloggs has $1,000, how much change would he get back? So there's lots of information here. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to go through the cubes, and Mr. Bloggs wants to buy 24 silver tickets for his students to go to the ballet. If he has $1,000, how much change will he get back? So there are lots of things here that we need to look at. So we have the tickets. We need to find our silver ticket. So one ticket costs $35. He wants to buy 24. But the question asked you is how much change is he going to get back? So this sounds like it's going to be a multi-step problem. So the first thing I need to do is figure out how much it's going to cost to buy 24 silver tickets. So I'm going to take that 24 students and I'm going to multiply it by 35 because it's the same amount for each one of the tickets. So we're repeating that number. So then we go through the steps of our multiplication. You have to do that first. So 4 times 5 is 20 plus 2. And then you have 5 times 2, which is 10 plus 2 is 12. Then we have our 0. Then you have 4 times 3, which is 12. Make sure you eliminate that stuff and draw your arrows if you're following along with me. So then we have 4 times 3, which is 12. Carry our 1. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. Once you add those up, you end up with a 0, a 4, and an 8 for $840. Now, Mr. Bloggs has $1,000 to spend. We're looking for how much money is he going to get back. So he gives the attendant $1,000. He is going to pay for the tickets, which cost $840. I'm going to put my dollar signs out here. And now we're going to subtract to find the difference, how much money he's going to get back. So you can't take 0 from 0. That is 0. I can't take 4 from 0. I can't borrow from here, so I have to go all the way to my thousands place, take 1 away. The hundreds becomes a 10. We're going to borrow from that. It becomes 9. This becomes a 10. 10 minus 4 is 6. 9 minus 8 is 1. And Mr. Boggs will get $160 back. So we're going to be practicing multiplication equations today, and it is kind of difficult. So make sure that you are paying attention to keywords and you are cubing as we go through. Okay, so here is a we do. Ryan is concreting a path. The path is 8 yards long and 2 yards wide. He figures out that the concrete will cost about $35 for each square. What amount can he expect to pay? So I want you to pause the video here, and I want you to go through the information and see if you can find the key words and see if you can figure out what it is that we need to do to solve for the problem. So pause the video here. I'm going to walk through and I'm going to cube, and then we're going to come back and check. Okay, so I analyzed this and I looked to see, okay, the side path is 8 yards by 2 yards. So the first step that we're going to do is have to find out what is the whole area of the sidewalk, which is 8 times 2, which you should get 16. Then the next step that you should do is it says that the cost for each square yard is $35. So now we have to multiply 35 times 16. So again, I want you to pause the video here and see if you can get that solved up. Okay, so I went through the steps of the multiplication, so check your work and make sure that you're here. The last step that you're going to do is add. So make sure that when you go through the steps that you get this, and this is in dollar amount. So he's going to end up spending $560. Check and make sure you did your work correctly. Okay, so here is another one. Micah buys 3 laptops for her workspace. The laptops cost $895 each. She is given $3,000 to spend. What is the amount that she has left? So this one sounds a lot like the first one I did. So it is a multi-step problem. So if she's buying 3 laptops for $895, step 1 is going to be 895 times 3. Pause the video here, solve that part out. Then if you can figure that out, see what your step 2 is. She is given $3,000 to spend. How much does she have left? So pause the video here and see if you can finish up solving it, and then we'll come back and check. Okay, so we have $3,000. You spend $2,685. You're going to have to start your regrouping all the way over in the thousands place to borrow all the way across, and then start your subtraction. You should have had a 5, 1, 3. Bring your comma down. You don't need a comma because this is a 0. So you should end up with $315 as your answer. Next one. All right. So here is another one from our Orgo practice. It is a we do. So there are 6 large containers. 405 hats are packed into each of the containers. How many hats have been packed in total? This one is simple. You only have 6 large containers. 6. In each of those containers, there is 405 hats. Pause the video here and see if you can solve the answer. How many hats have been packed in total? Total. Okay, so you should have the equation 405 times 6 for a total of 2,430 hats. And again, if you want to use your workbooks, these are on page 68. And here is the next one. This one might be a little bit more difficult. 965 pairs of shoes are made each day. How many days will it take to complete an order of 5,000 pairs of shoes? So each day, 965 pairs of shoes are made each day. Each day. Each day. Same amount. How many days will it take to complete an order of 5,000 pairs of shoes? Ooh, that one's a tricky one. So pause the video here and see if you can figure out what the equation is that you are going to do to solve, and then we'll come back and check our work. Okay, so this one is super duper tricky, and we're looking for a total of 5,000 pairs of shoes. And if we were really good, we would actually do division, but I am going to help you out on this one. So I'm going to think how many days would give me. So 965 is about 1,000. About 1,000. So what times 1,000 would give you 5,000? So I would think, okay, that is 5. So if I'm thinking about this, this is rounding up. So I'm going to think, I'm going to use the number 6 for this one. Because if I do 5, I won't get enough for 5,000 because I rounded up. So I'm going to try 965 times 6. 36, 38, 39, and a 3, and then 54, 55, 56, 57, 57. So it is going to be between 5 and 6 days. This one is a tricky one. It is a hard one. And so I hope that you stayed with me for that one in discussion, because it should have been an announcement. Okay, so on these next ones, it is our exit ticket with the partner on Orgo. You are actually going to be working at home with either partners, or you can be working live with us. This part of the video and the rest of this will be with partners or independent. We are going to be using these as discussions for what you guys are to do. So exit ticket is with a partner here for these two here. And then your independent practice are just 2 that are here. It is your C and D on page 69. And then if you get finished with that, there are extra word problems that have been attached as well. The extra word problems, if you have time, be sure to do them because they are super important. And again, the exit ticket, which is on page 69, the first part of it, and the independent practice. I do want you guys checking in with us because this is the first day we've really worked on word problems, and they are multi-step. So if you feel stuck, please come in, check in with us, and go through these with us, and I'll see you then.